All right, everybody, welcome back to Nothing But the Game. We
Yes.
we are back.
You feeling better? That
Um,
direction?
I'm feeling a little bit better. I would say I'm like 95%. I could stick it out for an hour.
Mm.
So
Well, that's good to hear. I know that's infinitely better than what we see from Russell Wilson, which is usually about 40-50%. So,
did you
yeah.
see the? Oh my God, you went right there. This is great. This is great content because did,
Segue straight off the bat.
did you see? Did you see this thing going around on Twitter about how his teammates, right? His team, he's flying to London, and this dude is working out in the aisle of the plane.
Oh, yes.
Like,
Yeah, I think I heard the clip while he was like, I was watching film for the first, whatever amount, and then
yes,
I
this
don't even know.
he's doing like high knees and all this stuff. Like, I mean, like,
I just want to know like what's going through like just a guy that's on the just sitting down like KJ Hamler is just sitting there and it's like what is going through your brain at the moment when you just see him going through doing
right.
lunges, stretching it out in the
I
in
mean,
the aisle.
it's
I wonder
it's
if he's like pumping himself up or the rest of the team as he's doing it. Like is he saying these things to get going or
I mean, Bronco Country, let's ride. Like, what else is he saying?
let's run
Let's ride. Like, oh my, it's so funny that you went right to that, dude.
unlimited.
Excuse me.
There's the 5% that's not well
No,
showing itself.
no, I can't laugh. Okay,
I will stop.
no, I man, I don't get it. So like, I
Is it too early to like I'm not trying to step on you here, but like I just this thought process, you have these like characters in just all these different realms of, entertainment. NFL is a form of entertainment, but then you've got music, film, theater, arts, all these different things. But I feel like you have these characters in different realms of entertainment and they take certain paths. And I'm not comparing them in this exact way, but like personality wise, I feel like Russell Wilson is trying to take the less drastic path of like a Kanye West style. Like he's starting to like it's becoming this like caricature of something where it's like can be awesome. He say some cool things, but they also say some things or like do things. You're like, what the hell is happening right now? And I feel like Russell Wilson is taking this path.
Evan, none of this was on our pre-show. Like, this is awesome. Yes,
I
like,
know, I
I'm like,
know.
no, but I get it, dude. I absolutely get what you're saying. Like, it's like the guy that says one thing and does the totally opposite, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
I don't know like. I just want to know all like everybody got it wrong. Everybody. We got it wrong.
Oh yeah.
ESPN got it wrong. NFL Network. Everybody got it wrong. The AFC West is not good besides the Kansas City Chiefs. Nothing has changed.
Right.
Nothing
Yeah,
has
it's
changed.
I mean and to quote Radiohead, everything's in its right place as
Yeah.
it should be.
I mean,
I mean, it's we try to prop this things up, but then all in reality, it's just
you
the
bought
truth comes out.
you bought into something so hard. You know what I mean? Let me
Mm-hmm.
let me give Denver as many primetime games as possible. Right? It has been the most dude, I love football and I have fallen asleep during every single primetime game this year.
It's been rough. It's yeah. Without going down too far of a rabbit hole, I can't remember what it was 2-3 years ago when people were starting to complain about like, oh, the Thursday night games are awful. The Monday night games when you had the commentary. I can't remember who the cast was, but it was almost you had to join in for the comedical relief.
Yeah.
But this year it's kind of turning out to be that. But instead of the comedical relief, it's just like this is brutal. Like who wants to tune in for this?
Yeah. Thursday night footballs I feel like have been like that for some time now. Like they just
But whenever they came out with these new slates, they
yeah.
looked like, oh shoot, they're going to be awesome. Like some of these games, yeah, you got some of the down ones, but I mean, there's a reason why Amazon bid and put so much money towards, hey, exclusively having these, and there's I don't know what the ratings are or whatnot on those, but I feel like your investment is not returning at this moment.
No, I mean, well, I don't know. I would imagine. So it's football. Everyone watches football,
Yeah.
whether So like they're returning. Like, yes, their investment is getting a
I,
return for sure, but it's just not like the everything the effort that they put into the show. Like, I like Richard Sherman and Ryan Fitzpatrick, and I think who's the other
they're
guy? Tony
they're fun to
Gonzalez.
watch.
Yeah,
Yeah. And offensive lineman from the Rams, Whittington,
yes.
Whittier, yeah, something. Yeah.
Um, but I mean, ultimately, like Thursday Night Football is always it's been one dominant team versus a not a very good team. Like no matter what, every slated one is. I don't know. I just or this year, for example, it's just been the Denver Broncos. Like,
Man. Yeah.
but so listen, we got things to talk about.
We
The
do.
So the trade deadline is upon us, November 1st. So next Tuesday, trade
Hmm.
deadline. We've already seen some groundbreaking. I don't want to call them groundbreaking, but we've seen some. I would say, surprising trades
Yeah. Some
thus far.
quick trigger pools. It seems like
Yeah,
reactionary.
some of them are kind of fantasy football impact. So
Oh
for
yeah.
this show, I think it'd be a good idea if we kind of discuss possible future trades here within the next week. Maybe the impact of some of these trades that have taken place so far. Uh, the
Hmm.
the first one I want to discuss would actually be the James Robinson trade that just happened. Um,
Yes.
that's what I want to talk about first, and I want to know just from your fantasy football opinion, does it affect James Robinson at all?
I think where he was going with at the beginning of the season, whenever he kind of came out as the prominent role on that RB side, but we know the talent of ETN. Um, where he's going now, ETN is greater than Michael Carter. Where he's going to be going, the situation on offensively, it's up in the air, trying to figure out how they'll be utilized. I think this might be like a revitalization potentially for James Robinson in the regards of Michael Carter is not as good as ETN at being the catching back and things like that. I like Michael Carter a lot, but I don't think he's going to be relied upon like you could with ETN. And Robinson, I think, can go in there and help bring a consistency. Nothing like Brees Hall had done, but something that they can actually still rely on. That he can be more of a bell cow guy as opposed to Carter. So for James Robinson's side of things, I think this, if anything, it's might be neutral, if not a little bit of a bump up for what he was projecting with Jacksonville. And that's just fantasy wise. I'm not talking about the trade or which team got what. I just think fantasy wise, it's going to help a little bit on James Robinson's side.
Yeah, no. So like, I like you threw something in there called kind of revive the James Robinson like his. So I think I think what this does is for dynasty users. I think this is a huge deal for James Robinson, and if he plays well, if he plays, very similar. I'm not going to say he's going to have the production that Brees Hall was having, but we know he has, explosive play ability, and
and
if
he's got the vision to help him.
right, and if New York can get that going for him, and he hits free agency, then he's going to land somewhere really nice. You would think he's going to land somewhere really nice, and this might be exactly what dynasty owners for James Robinson want to see. So,
And I'm going to jump on the what was it 3 years ago whenever Robinson came out undrafted and people were just like, who the heck is this guy like taking over the backfield? And then the question was at Dynasty that time was like, hey, what do you do with your Robinson shares? Do you trade him? Do you hold on to him? Like what's happening? And I was in the sell mindset I didn't have any of his shares in my leagues, but those, if they offered a trade out to me, I was not accepting them. I would, the next few weeks, and I do not have the Jets roster. I mean, not roster schedule for the next few weeks of what he could potentially capitalize on in front of me. But if he's able to do anything, this is a sell moment for me, because what the running back market is and where his age is at. You have a class, the next 2 classes coming out that are RB deep. And you can go out and get an RB that can do exactly what he's doing now in the 3rd, 4th rounds. Not exactly. I don't want to disparage what he's done, but his abilities. And so if you can trade him out for, I don't want to put a pick number on it, but if you can trade him away once he maybe has a good game or 2, which I think he will have, that's what I would be doing if I had shares of him.
Yeah. So we actually have a viewer chime in here. We have a question. This is trade Chris Olave and Deontay Foreman for A.J. Brown. I have Goddard as a tight end, so I don't know if having Brown and Goddard, who are on the same offense, on the Eagles, is fine for my fantasy squad.
Stack that.
Stack that, absolutely.
I have a few leagues. I've got the Goddard, A.J. Brown stack.
Yeah. Football. So this is his name's Football Talks. There is no evidence showing at all that stacking hurts your roster by any means. Yeah. I have Dallas Goedert. I had Dallas Goedert going into the season as my number 2 tight end, and so far he has been extremely productive for the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, there is no, and then AJ. It's not like AJ Brown's not getting his targets either.
Oh no!
I mean, if you were trading for Devonta Smith or something like that, then maybe I'd question it. But like, this is no. If
this is a dynasty league, I'm assuming it's a dynasty league with Chris Olave on there, holding up that much of value, because. And you said Deontay Foreman is the other piece?
Yes.
So that's kind of like a kicker, which I like him in the short term going on.
Yeah, I love Deontay Foreman. I was so excited when Carolina picked him up.
No, yeah, he's a consistent. He's just another one of those runners that he'll get the job done. And he's got the speed to do it. But A.J. Brown is, he is a top, dynasty-wise, he's a top 5 wide receiver.
Yes.
But, this year he's a top, I think he's a top 5 wide. I don't know what he is right now, but I would consider him a top 5 wide receiver in redraft leagues too. So it's that's definitely a snag. If you can get AJ Brown for those 2 guys, I would jump on it.
Yeah, if somebody's offering you that trade, just smash that accept button immediately, and hopefully your league doesn't veto it. And if your league's vetoing, get out of it.
Yes. Find a new league. We just need to do an entire segment. I know it's been done many times, but league rules and outdated league rules, things like that.
Yeah. Well,
I get invited to leagues all the time, and I'll jump in. I don't have many Yahoo or ESPN leagues, but I still get people that are on those platforms, and I'll go through and read these league rules, and oh my gosh, I get like flashbacks of whenever I was like 13 years old, first joining fantasy football.
I've been in leagues where you've had to have your roster set by Saturday. So if there's a question mark surrounding on your right, I've been in leagues like that, and it's just, but like, I don't.
Is that when did you also have to call your commissioner to set your lineup? All right, so I want to have.
But I mean, it was like a fun league though, because we had to pay. You pay per, waiver wire transaction.
Oh yeah, I love that.
So
did you like have a fab, or was it waiver wire priority? But you still, no matter what, you paid X amount for a pickup.
Yeah, you paid X amount. Like, so you had to pay. You paid $3 per transaction, and then
those are the best.
Yeah, and then whoever scored the most points in the league at the end of the season got got all the waiver wire like money, right? It's just that extra little pot. It adds a little fun to it. Especially for the guys that, don't make the playoffs, or, have, at least they still have a chance at that. So everyone's still kind of, everyone's still trying to play their lineups the best that they can,
Yep.
So
Especially in redraft leagues with like tanking. So I don't want to like, go off on it, but when you have those redraft leagues and you have those bottom, you're in eighth place. You got 4 weeks left, and you're like, there's no point. And then, but you giving up really affects those top 4 or 5 tiers. Having rules like that in place, if you have people that are all down for it and an accounting way to do it, it's the best way to go because you never know. You could have the worst lineup, and that lineup pops off for infinite amount more points than anybody else. And now you, like you said, you go home with an extra X amount of money at the end of the season.
Yep. So the next big trade that happened, well, I don't even. This actually.
No, this is massive. Don't say it's not big.
Okay, it's a massive trade. Yeah, it was the Robby Anderson trade, right? No.
Oh yeah, no. Yes, exactly. That was just jaw dropping.
So I have a really interesting take about this. So we're talking about the Christian McCaffrey trade to the San Francisco 49ers. I think logically, in terms of football, right? I think it makes so much sense for the 49ers.
Oh yeah.
I think it was a great football play or a great football move. Simply, I mean, look at what they do with their players there. Like no player plays one role on that offense, and that's a Kyle Shanahan thing, and I think that's awesome. And Christian McCaffrey brings just another dynamic ability. And not that Jimmy Garoppolo is, amazing, but having all these weapons and this it takes a lot of pressure off of him, I think. A lot. You know what I mean?
Because that dump off that already was pretty valuable in that offense becomes it's a huge variable. Like, you don't guard McCaffrey the right way, that dump off turns into 20 yards easily.
And in regards to, and this is, you're gonna probably just freak out on me once I say this. In regards to fantasy football, I would sell Christian McCaffrey. I would be
bash you for it.
Huh?
I'm not going to bash you for it.
I would trade him.
Yeah,
it has to do with targets in offensive production share, right? He was the heart and soul of the Carolina Panthers for 4 or 5 seasons. His production level was through the roof. I mean, even when he was hurt, dynasty people weren't trading him because they just knew the value that he held on that offense. Here, not so much, man. You have Deebo Samuel. Jeff Wilson's going to be stealing carries from him. I mean, Jeff Wilson, look how productive. I felt like, even though they lost that Kansas City game, I felt like Jeff Wilson was running his ass off.
No, and he does. He is a great guy to have on your roster because he will just put it out there. I love the way he plays.
So this is something I say every show, and I truly believe it, that like there is a difference between football and fantasy football. And this is a great football move for the 49ers, and I think if you're a Christian McCaffrey owner, I think you need to trade him ASAP, especially before your playoffs kick off. Like, I believe in that.
And I'll echo that because, like I said, I feel like I should disagree with you just for the sake of entertainment here, but in reality, what you're saying, his volume is going to drop. And that before the season, they talked about wanting to drop his volume because of the injury history and just not putting that unnecessary load on him, leaning so much. You're going to have that load naturally relieved, like you talked about, going to San Francisco. And you will see, I think you'll have that released, but then you'll also see a jump up in production, like the yards per touch or whatever the actual production that he's putting out there may actually improve in that regard. But now there's going to be a more of a variable of spike games. Usually, McCaffrey was consistent. I think you're going to see more dips in his weeks and then a spike as opposed to the consistency where you're like, man, I put him in, I get 20, depending on your league scoring, 23, 25 points a game, PPR, 20, whatever. Now you might see a 10, 11 point game here and there, and then a 32 point whatever. So in that regard, I would jump on it because there's a lot of people that are high on this move. and I think trading him it isn't a bad idea. Plus, I don't know where you were going with it. Just in the actual football move style, the actual football outcome for the teams.
Yeah.
Whenever it happens, everybody, it was Thursday Night Football. The cast reacting to it was talking about how Lynch, put on his ski mask and just robbed Carolina, just blind, like blind. That's what they're saying. That was the reactionary. It's the incendiary comments, whatever. But looking at it, you're getting a second, a third, and a fourth in this class, in this draft class, and then a fifth next year, I believe. And I don't know if any of those are contingent or if they're just straight up. But I'm looking at, if you just want to go, okay, now what are you going to do at X spot? Yes, you drafted a quarterback. You've got this big quarterback controversy of what's going on right now. But this draft class that you have coming in, you're laying the groundwork for just doing a massive reboot. You're going to have a top, 5 pick. You got, whatever, if you want to go quarterback, if you want to go a top insane, Bijan Robinson running back. But if you don't, that second and third, you could use either one of those and get a great, I don't want to say great, that's a great prospect. Right. I'll say a great right. prospect at running back. Dealing with, in the second round, third round, you could get a guy, Tank Bigsby, that could get in there and just do out, a Blake Corum, Zach Evans will be in the second round there. So there's guys that are going to be there that you could easily replenish with, not to replace McCaffrey, but to get a more gelling team.
Yep.
I think honestly think it was a great.
I think it was a great trade for both teams. I mean, clearly, real quick, we have Patrick. Patrick's asking, should I trade Jamar Chase for Derrick Henry and AJ Brown?
Derrick Henry, and you said AJ Brown?
Yes.
Jamar Chase? I mean, I would. I'm assuming, I don't know what the roster build-up is, but yeah, I would say jump on that noise. It's because you're taking it. Usually, you're looking at it.
Assuming he needs running back, if this is the, or I don't. I mean, I would jump. I don't think you're losing any. You're not losing.
No, you're not. AJ Brown and Jamar Chase. Yeah, Jamar Chase has. I mean, you can go on it. I'll let you take it with the Jamar Chase point of view there.
Oh, I mean, listen, Jamar Chase this is boomer bust type thing. He is a boomer bust player, or not boomer bust. He's never going to be a bust, but he's kind of like this spike that you were talking about with Christian.
The spike week, yeah.
The spike week, where Derrick Henry is consistent. I mean, they're Tennessee Titans are averaging over 100 yards a game, rushing.
The quarterback question right now, because you don't know if Malik Willis is going to start due to Tannehill's injury.
And then A.J. Brown is, clearly the number one. We were just talking about it with Football Talks there. Like, A.J. Brown is clearly, number one target there. He's getting his looks. He's the top 5 receiver in the league right now.
Yeah. Make that trade. There's not much to debate on that one.
We got another one. I traded MT for I'm assuming it's Michael Thomas. I traded Michael Thomas for Brandon Ayuk. Winner loss. I like Brandon Ayuk. Ayuk, he's been extremely consistent the last couple of weeks. Where Michael Thomas is just
hasn't played.
Big question mark. So I'm pretty sure that's a W, man. Especially going into with playoffs right around the corner. I think that's a big W for you. I'll speak on the Michael Thomas side because I personally I've got him in one of my bigger leagues. I've had him for a little bit and keep holding on because week 1 shows like, oh shoot, Michael Thomas back, but the injury and consistency, and Ayuk provides his own inconsistencies there to worry about, behavioral or just effort wise. But like you said, he's shown it recently, and the way that offense is at San Francisco is going, he could be a beneficiary of this McCaffrey trade because almost no eyes are on him. You got Kittle, Debo, and McCaffrey now, and people, I don't want to say they'll forget about Ayuk, but as long as Jimmy can run with his progression, the Ayuk will be getting the ball. Yeah, no, for sure. I definitely think it's a win easily. Sorry, we love the trade questions, so please
Yeah.
keep bringing them
And
up.
and I'll take this moment real quick, jumping in between our trade talk, to talk about, because we've normally had kind of like a setup going on with in regards to show going on things, but we want to kind of encourage this, just the chat engagement, people sending in questions, anything you've got. It doesn't have to just be trade, like questions about teams, positions, things like that for fantasy football. Shoot, it could even be just regular. What do we think about certain teams? But we're going to be actually putting out more content individually. Doing like start sits and things like that on separate videos, so we're not doing them live, so we can encourage more engagement here.
Yes.
We've already put out a few videos on the Devi side of things, dynasty side of things, looking at college players and the projections that they're going to be having coming into the pros, so you can kind of stay one step ahead. But right now, definitely please send out anything you got, because we want to be here for engage with you guys and have some fun.
Yeah, I mean, in regards to the starts and sits and then pick'ems, this used to be everyday routine for the show, or every week routine for the show, and we definitely want to kind of build our own little playlist on the YouTube channel there. So please, please come over, subscribe, and look for that content, and we'll be getting it up. I think we're shooting for at least 2 videos on top of the show a week. So,
yeah, trying to put out at least one Devi college one a week, and then like you said, start sits would be what we want to get going.
And pick'ems would be another good thing. So this is, we love the community and the talking in the chat driven shows. So this is good. I guess we can talk about the Robby Anderson trade now.
Yeah, we could. Touch on it. It holds fantasy impact.
It holds kind of.
I mean, with the injury to Brown and just how quickly that is, that's more of an intriguing storyline probably than anything else.
Yeah.
But Anderson going on over there, personally, with Kyler Murray, and Hopkins coming back, I think that's the biggest thing, because he has like his really trusted safety blanket. Yeah, you got Zach Ertz, and he's kind of done a great job filling in that role Ertz has. But with Hopkins going on there, you're just going to see a lot of Ertz, Hopkins, and I don't want to just like knock players, but just off of film and watching guys, Kyler still, in the amount of time he's been in the league, if it seems like it's a 1-2, progression, first option, second option, third option's almost always a run, I feel like, or panic. Like the eyes drop away from down the field, and so that's where I think Robby Anderson is just going to fall away. Maybe a deep ball every once in a while. He'd be fun for best ball leagues.
Robbie's down there somewhere. No, I mean, listen, I'm not going to hold back anything. I don't even know if the dude makes it through his first reads. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I'm not impressed with his quarterback play whatsoever. Not even, so there's the quarterbacks that can improvise on the move, but I don't even feel like he.
So there's the spectrum of like, and I know I've used this, but we don't have a mass following that listens to us every single week, so I can repeat content. It's there's a spectrum. You have the, like you said, guys that can play on the move and improvise. Those are like the Mahomes, Josh Allen type of guys. Aaron Rodgers at his peak, whenever he's able to run around and just kind of, all of a sudden that's a flick of the wrist and you've made a 5-yard pass to a guy and it's actually genius.
Right.
Kyler Murray, his improvisation, whatever word you want to put on that.
That was great.
His comedic stylings are genuinely comedic, because he results to being the most athletic guy on the field. And yes, he's going to be possibly the top 5 athletic guy on the field, if not number 1. But you're in the pros, and what worked for him in high school does not work now. And he keeps trying to do that same thing where it's like panic, panic, spin, run. And yeah, he'll make a highlight reel. But when it comes to actually making an improved team and building on, if you're a fantasy, especially on a dynasty roster type thing, if you're building a dynasty roster, you want to find guys that can build continuity with a team and earn coaches' trust, especially at the quarterback position. And Kyler Murray I think the fact that he's there is because he's got a lot of the eggs in the basket with the coaching staff, and they've thrown a lot in that basket, and it's almost like their name is stuck to it. And I have him in a league. I've thrown out, hey, please, somebody, I'll take, not desperate, but throw something out there. I don't see him unless he shows improvement like Hurts has in his third year. Yeah. Hurts has actually shown improvement.
I just want to know what kind of clauses were written into that contract for them to get out of it. That's all I want to know. Listen, real quick, we got another question.
Yes, interrupt me anytime somebody bumps in. Just say, hey, something important came in.
We got
breaking news.
It is. Should I trade Michael Pittman for Najee Harris and Dallas Goedert in a deep PPR league, 16-man? My starting tight end is Hill, and I'm 3-4. I would.
Taysom Hill. Man, I love who is this? I love the detailed info because this is what super important.
Yeah, this is
16-team league, PPR. And he said, say Najee and who?
Najee Harris and Dallas Goedert. Michael Pittman for yes. So yeah,
I would do it. If you can respond back, we can circle back to it. If it's a dynasty league, throws a little bit of some kinks in there because I have Michael Pittman really high dynasty wise. But even then, I think I'm going to take Najee, Dallas Goedert.
The fact that he says that it's a really deep PPR league and he's 3-4, and I'm gonna guess this is a redraft.
Yeah, I think so too. And that's even more. It's a smash. Do that move if you can. I love Pittman, but Matt Ryan is a handcuff, and Sam Ehlinger is a wild card. I mean, I'm a Longhorn fan. Followed Ehlinger is a winner. He knows how to just go out there and compete, but he has limitations. I'm curious to see what that could bring.
I feel like they need to get Pittman going, so Ehlinger is going to be looking to push that ball downfield to him. But I like the more.
Yeah.
I like the.
But he's very chemistry based. Just watching him in college. And there's a lot of quarterbacks that are like that. They really rely on timing because they don't have the missile of an arm to get it in there. They don't have certain things. And Ellinger's that guy. He'll play and he'll get it.
Yeah.
But he does rely on chemistry. I'm curious to see if you see any of these lower end wide receivers that he's been working with on the second string might make a bump. I'm not putting a claim on that, but Pittman should get fed more.
Rodrigo chimes in or comments, and he says that he just traded CMC and Ramondre Stevenson for Jamar Chase and DeAndre Swift, and he's like, "Is this a good trade?" Absolutely.
Yes.
Hell yes.
Hell yes.
That is a win. You
and I like all the guys. You said Jamar Chase and Swift, right?
Yes, Jamar Chase.
And all the guys you mentioned there, I love. I love Stevenson. I like what he's going to be able to do. CMC, obviously, but I think you capitalizing on Swift's injuries and not playing it's what's going to come out. I believe he should be playing this week.
Yeah, I got the notification that he was healthy.
Thank God. He's in like 6 of my leagues. I have so many shares of Swift.
It came a little late for me. I got eliminated from playoffs already in my one league.
Damn. You have like week 10 playoff start?
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'm not eliminated yet. It's really.
You play in some interesting leagues. You got to call in the rosters. You're eliminated after week 7. It's like a skunk rule.
The call-in one was a few years ago, but yes, like.
That's awesome.
Hey, thanks for subbing, Rodrigo. We appreciate it, man.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, to comment on this actual trade, though, again, especially for playoff push, man, again, we talked about the spike games with Jamar Chase, and clearly, I mean, Burrow's going now. He's got 15 touchdowns on the season, right?
Mm-hmm. He's vibing.
He's vibing right now.
He's found that fur coat. He's tossed the faux fur he's been wearing. He's actually throwing on that fur coat, and he's gaming right now. He's getting into that mode. That conference is going to be super interesting, or that division, I mean. is going to be
It
super
is
fun if
because
they start
the
getting it
Browns
going.
the Browns are competitive. Like,
Yeah, man, that every single team in there has a storyline, and I don't like going on storylines. They're fun to like, wake up in the morning, and if you're tired of hearing about news, you go to the, whatever, and just follow a fun NFL storyline. But they're intriguing, like the whole division in between Baltimore, Cleveland, the rookie in Pittsburgh, and I don't know, it's just a lot of fun.
yeah, I I really like the Pittsburgh story that's going on right now. I
Yeah.
I've been extremely impressed with Kenny Pickett thus far.
I'm not gonna lie. I have throughout the season. My ego is a little been rooting more because I know I picked him as my rookie of the year pick
Yeah,
to come out. Now that I know Kenny Pickett starting, if Pickens does well, Kenny Pickett will get the ride over Pickens through that. But you're right, man. I love what Pickens is doing.
you still don't
And
think
the fact that they're utilizing him.
you still don't think my Damian Pierce has an opportunity at Rookie of the Year?
I mean, with Brees Hall going down, it's up in the air now.
I mean, because Damian Pierce, dude, like
Yeah.
after week 3, like he turned it on and he hasn't turned it
And
off yet. So.
It's funny because none of us took like an actual rookie quarterback on the off. We did offensive rookie of the year, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us took a quarterback, which is like historically that's what it probably would have been if they go in there and start playing. But no, Damian Pierce has a lot more legs on that one, because he is in there and he's getting it. That whole thing, it would be really interesting if we're talking about trade deadlines. I know we want to talk about projected trades and guys going somewhere, so I'll use a kind of a segue here. If Damian Pierce sees Brandon Cooks go away somewhere, and I think he'll become a massive focal point. They know that they're not they're competing this year, but they're going to see what they have in him as a workload. Running back.
Brandon Cooks is going to get traded to the Green Bay Packers, and his value is his value is going to skyrocket.
Man, yeah. If he goes, oh man, maybe I should, just because the hit rate randomly of the words that have been spouted out on this show that come imprompted have actually surprisingly come true a decent amount of times. I might make some trades for Brandon Cooks in some other leagues just for the hell of it.
I like that.
If that happened, that'd be amazing.
I like that you bring that up because you know what? I just want to pat ourselves on the back because we we called the Matt Rule firing before it happened. We called the Matt Rule firing before it happened, and then we called the fire sale right after, and it is happening. You know what I mean? So, and I won't be surprised if Carolina says that they're not trading, J.C. Horn or DJ Moore or any of these guys before the trade deadline. I would not.
Was a defensive end, Burns or something like that?
Yeah, like they say that they're not trading all these guys.
If they know what they're doing.
Yep. They know exactly what they're doing, man.
Yeah,
they're just baiting everybody. They're baiting everybody.
Yeah, you see articles, they've denied 2 first-round picks for this guy for Burns, and in reality, it's like, hey, we know we got a week left. We get this article out there. Maybe we'll get 2 first-round picks from a better team or a worse team that is more valuable. No, you know exactly what's going down.
No, I just want to, a lot of things have happened. I mean, some things that we called that we thought were going to be amazing, and they've turned out not to be that great, like the Matt Ryan to Indy. Whew.
Ooh, can y'all hear that? I am so sorry. I've got a helicopter flying right above my head over here.
No, man, we can't hear anything.
Okay, good. My bad then. It was just throwing me off.
So all right, so nice. That's a good segue into like other players that might want to get traded here. So the Brandon Cooks to Green Bay. Cam Akers is obviously.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to preface this because I wanted to jump in on this real quick.
Go for it.
Whoever takes Cam Akers, you might see a momentary, it really just depends of where he goes. I am not a Cam Akers guy. I do not think he's a number 1 RB. So I think he's the James Robinson equivalent of where he can go. He'll have some good value, but nothing. I know there's a lot of diehards on him, but I'm super interested in seeing where he might end up because of the running back landscape and what he's done. I don't think they're going to get a whole lot for him though.
No, no, I don't think they're going to get a
Like
lot for him either. But
no,
it's
like
definitely going to be it's definitely going to be a playoff, a playoff quality team that makes a run for them. Because Cam Akers in the playoffs last year looked
oh yeah,
amazing. He looked amazing.
he's a great depth piece.
Yeah.
Like, or an RB2 or just like by committee. I think he's an awesome one for that. You have an idea of like do you have a team triggered in your brain that would be like playoff go for him?
Yeah, but I don't want to say it because then it's just gonna look like I'm just gonna look like a homer, dude.
So, and earlier, if you're listening, we going off script. You mentioned like, hey, you're going off script here. When we say script, it is like, hey, what kind of things do we loosely want to talk about, and just go from there.
Right.
So, only reason I was throwing that to you is because, and with you saying it, the Bills was literally one of the things I was popping into my brain. I was like, I mean, yeah, they got a pretty good running group, but come playoff time, you want to have that RB backfield just on lockdown, especially if you get home field advantage up in Buffalo.
Yes.
Dude, yeah. Just go ahead and run out Cam Akers and Singletary, and then throw out Moss, and then just throw out Cooks. Just run them all out there.
Yeah, I mean,
Moss, maybe not. Cooks, the three.
I don't know. I mean, they haven't got. I'm hoping the bye week here, after the bye week, because the Bills are coming off the bye week, so I'm really hoping that they could get the James Cook. I hope they can get him rolling. He had his touchdown, 2 weeks ago against Pittsburgh, first touchdown. So I'm hoping all those rookie jitters are kind of starting to, shake off a little bit.
Yeah.
I think a Cam Akers, a three-headed monster back there with the Singletary is a workhorse. He really is, and anybody that's not playing him in fantasy football, like he's getting his points, man. He's getting like 15 points a game. Like I'm
in a league that does points per carry.
Oh man.
And dude, yeah, I snagged him off the waiver wire.
You say I play in crazy games or crazy
no. I was getting him off the waiver wire. Actually, I'm honest. I dropped him for Kenneth Walker III. But
okay. I mean,
I had snagged him for a moment there because he's not a sexy out there. If you threw him in a trade, somebody might look at him as like a nice little bonus. But no, he's throwing something fun. Consistency wise.
He's getting 80% of the snaps at running back for so like
one of the best offenses out there. So.
Right. And then I don't know. I think a Devin Singletary, Cam Akers, James Cook, if they get him going, at that point, just watch out. Anybody, I really think.
Now, I'm going to throw one out there that for Cam Akers, another team that I was thinking, recently lost the RB. It's the RB that I was like, take him. Nobody was listening to me at that point because I was not on a podcast, but everybody I could talk to was take J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins over Cam Akers. And now clearly, there's more than just concerns about J.K. Dobbins coming back this season. It's his health just in general with that knee. Cam Akers to Baltimore. Now, this is being said, I have no idea what draft cap is. I'm just putting it out there as like out of team chemistry and what they could use. I think that would be freaking.
I think that'd be
fun to watch.
Yeah, I think it'd be real fitting too.
Just talking about playoff teams, top 10 teams that are to keep an eye on. Baltimore would be crazy.
And he would definitely get his touches. I mean, Cam Akers is clearly a running back that needs his touches to get going.
Yeah.
So he would definitely get his touches. I like that a lot. Actually, I like that more than I like it to Buffalo. Because he would get his touches.
And I know if you've listened to us, during the off season, we're breaking down salary cap, everything. I have no idea what Baltimore salary cap is at this moment, and if they would have space trade wise. But I think it would be a fun inquiry.
They have plenty of cap space. I mean, even
I thought so. just from whenever we were looking at things in the off season. And they haven't
Um,
really done. They've offloaded it. If anything else, they've
right.
offloaded.
Yeah, I would. Man, I really want. All right, that's it. We're calling it right now. You heard it here first. You heard it here first. Nothing but the game.
Baltimore.
Cam Akers to Baltimore.
It'd be interesting to see what happens this weekend with. Oh no, shoot! They play tomorrow. Baltimore plays Tampa Bay. So it'd be interesting to see what goes down because Gus Edwards is fully back, and yeah, I mean you got Gus Edwards and Kenyon Drake. Justice Hill. So yeah, it's not really a backfield, and nor is it a receiving core that really strikes fear. But they're doing the job. They're doing they're a team to really respect on the actual football side of things.
Yeah. Another receiver that I've seen like bouncing around in trade talks is Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, going back to the Broncos. All right. Talk some more.
Broncos country, let's ride.
Let's ride with this. Woo! So you think that I'm curious to see what you think on Jerry Jeudy in general, because clearly he's underperformed what people were hoping for coming out of Alabama. Cortland Sutton this year is kind of being more the preferred fantasy target. Do you think there's a team out there?
We knew that though.
Yeah. No. We knew that was going to be the case. But do you think that if Jerry Jeudy lands in a situation, does he become more fantasy relevant? Like, is there a team that you'd want to see him jump on that would be like, okay, I'm not sorry. I wouldn't. So I don't know if I have him in any leagues, but I wouldn't be starting him if I did. Like, I wouldn't. I would put in guys like Devin Duvernay ahead of Jerry Jeudy because of you just don't know what he's going to do. There's so much inconsistency. I can think of a team that I'd be interested to see him go to, but I don't know if you had one off the top of your head. You're more of a procedural thinker than I am, so I'm throwing you on the spot here.
No, well, I'm so it's kind of crazy, and I think if a team was to make a trade for Jerry Jeudy, it would actually be the New York Giants.
Oh hell yeah! Yeah, I like that. I haven't even thought about that.
So I watched that as I'm was laying in my bed dying. I was watching the Giants game, and you know what? Any Daniel Jones haters out there, I don't think you're giving the kid enough credit, because you know what? He puts that ball where it's supposed to be, and there were 6 wide receiver drops.
Yes,
6 drops. Like, now I'm not saying like this kid's not going to be the next Patrick Mahomes, or Josh Allen or anything like that, but he has quality.
Kirk Cousins,
Derek
he could
Carr,
be the next Kirk Cousins. Derek, yeah, exactly.
Like he has a ton of potential, and they just need to get him. They need to get him the weapons to do so, man. I mean, clearly, they made the money.
Weapons.
They made the. They made the big expenditure last year for Kenny Golladay, and that has just not worked out at all. I don't even know who he is anymore.
Yeah, no, he did a great job getting a contract out of that, but no, he's injury prone, nothing there. But he's making it work with guys that I hate like referencing certain leagues, but like I'm almost like I want to have not all, but like Richie James, Slayton, and Wan'Dale Robinson. I just want to have them all in my best ball roster, because you never know. Either one of those guys could jump up because of him, because of Daniel Jones, could jump up into a top 12 wide receiver that week.
Yeah.
And he's doing it off of, and I don't want to say it's strictly him, because it is the Saquon Barkley being able to actually relieve that stress and being there is a massive load. But making guys like tight end the Bellinger pique people's interest on fantasy.
Right.
Guys like Richie James, bringing Slayton back out of the graveyard, because I know 3 years back he was like the waiver wire ad of the year.
And I really like that rookie wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yeah, he's and he's just now coming back. I mean, he missed 3 weeks, 4 weeks, the whole
Yep.
season so far.
But I liked him. I liked him come draft season, and I think they got him in like the 4th round.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kansas product, correct?
Don't quiz me on that part.
Oh, come on,
They,
dude.
they,
You're the Devy guy.
I know. I
I'm
should
pretty
know
sure
it. For
it's
some reason, I'm
Kansas.
thinking Kentucky. But
No, damn, now you got me. It's one of those two. It is the blue.
see, it's so funny. Like as we're talking, it's like, where is he from? Where is he from? Like, I don't know. We got the internet right here.
So we got an interesting question here. This is from Cedric. Cedric says, "Can you rank Hopkins, Walker, Lamb, and AJ Brown for this week?"
Walker. Okay, sorry, because I was reading. It is Kentucky. Wanda Robinson is from Kentucky.
Okay.
It made me question myself over here. Jeez. All
Um,
right, say that again.
he's asking if we can rank Hopkins, Walker, Lamb, and AJ Brown for this week.
Hopkins, Walker, Lamb, AJ Brown.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. And
Rank them. I'm thinking as like start sit-ems. Is that what we're or like where they?
what is what we're gonna do? We're gonna do. Because I'm assuming Walker.
Is
Kenneth Walker? Yeah. Okay. So, Brown, AJ Brown, Kenneth Walker, Hopkins, and there's just visualizing it. I don't have the chat in front of me.
Nope. CD Lamb.
CD Lamb. Okay. So we're doing a, start one, flex one, sit one, cut one. Is that? And I'm joking, but
That was great, dude. That was awesome.
We can absolutely do that, but I do not think that is what he's looking for here.
he's looking. He's 2 wide receivers and a flex. So he's asking what. He's asking of the 4, which
man you have. So first, I just want to touch on the fact that you have Lamb, Hopkins, and Brown on the same team. One, I can see that because getting Hopkins late, people fading him on there. But that's a great foresight. So if you're in a competitive position right now, that's outstanding. Because to me, this week, those 3 guys are a top 12. Those are all top 12 wide receivers, if not top 10 easily. Just kind of thinking off the top of the head here. I'm gonna go, and who is? I gotta look this up real quick, just because.
So
I'm a Cowboys fan. They got Chicago.
Chicago at Dallas, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and just say this. I like Hopkins. I like Hopkins, Lamb. Or I don't even know. AJ, start the receivers, all 3 receivers. I don't like the Kenneth Walker matchup. I like Kenneth Walker. Don't take this out of context.
All right, well, so I'm going to jump on this then here because we have our first we've been agreeing too much today, so we'll disagree.
The Giants have a phenomenal run defense, dude.
Yeah, I don't care. Kenneth Walker is going to be a top 5 running back this week. He will be top 5 fantasy football running back this week. Maybe pushing that too high. I should probably just say top 10, but I'm going to go with 5. He's going to be up there. He's going to be awesome. AJ Brown and Hopkins. CD Lamb is, and as I'm a Cowboy fan here, from Dallas, but
he says he's a Cowboys fan too.
Yeah, man. I'm not a Dak hater by any means. I am. When he was healthy, yeah, and I'm applying this mindset, the same thing I was doing with Kyler Murray earlier, and any quarterback. Because whenever I'm watching film, I'm not just like watching Sunday. Same thing with you, Fitz. We're not just watching these guys and being like, "Oh, okay, that was cool." This is like we want to bring actual. We tend to focus on more the dynasty side of things. So, what's the long-term effect of these players? Dak, to me, he misses too many things. And he's too hot and cold. He can throw the ball on the spot for one game. And then the next week, for some reason, it's either a miscommunication, chemistry, or he's just off. He's throwing a ball a yard over a guy's head. And you have NFL guys that can go up there and get it. Guys like CeeDee Lamb. Talent-wise, I put CeeDee Lamb in there as a starting roster. But for what's going on this week against Chicago, I don't feel confident in putting CeeDee Lamb over those other 2 guys. So or Walker. So I would put Walker over CD Lamb.
Okay, so he shared his whole lineup with us. So we got
Oh,
QB. We got Tom Brady, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, and then Kenneth Walker as the flex. He said it's just tough to bench Lamb.
no, I don't blame you. I having that is a conundrum. That is an awesome lineup. I don't know what the depth of that league is, but that is a stellar lineup to have.
I mean, if
it's PPR, that makes a bit of a difference too. So if you can let us know that, because
Cedric, is it a PPR league?
Yeah, because Kenneth Walker will get he's a good receiving running back out of the backfield, but that does kind of even things. It almost makes a push where for CD Lamb to Kenneth Walker. But I still think, with me saying I think Kenneth Walker will be a top 5 running back this week, you got to go with him. And you said Barkley and McCaffrey is his other one?
Yes.
Man, yeah, I wouldn't put Walker over. Oh, man, that's tough. Definitely Kenneth Walker to me in the flex.
I mean, okay.
And you find us here every week, so if I lead you wrong, feel free to come back.
It's a 6-team league, so really need the most points possible, and yeah, it's a PPR.
Oh, 6-team league, so you're looking at pretty much like boomer bust type players.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb definitely plays a boom possibility because he could get multiple touchdowns. What's
the status of DK Metcalf though? Because this definitely plays a role.
He's gonna miss this week, but
this plays a role in your Kenneth Walker take then, because in regards to boomer bust, because statistically, I'm telling you, like the Giants' defense, the Giants' run defense, like they have a phenomenal defense. Their defense is playing out of its mind right now.
Right, so I will give you. I'm looking at the numbers right here. But at this moment, fantasy football points wise, they give up the 18th most. They're 18th ranked in regards to fantasy football points to the running back.
To the running back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little. They do a really good job, but I think if you have a running back that can receive out of the backfield, which he can,
is it inflated by one game though? Like.
Oh, that part I don't know. I'm not looking that far.
Well,
I've got a laptop with a screen. I'm pretty limited.
I have I have.
I mean, look at my background. I'm clearly not built out for this as of yet.
I'm riding high on the Giants right now. I just love what they're doing over there. But I do like I like what you said about Dak. I agree with you 100%. I'm not a Dak fan. I haven't been.
Yeah.
I understand. So Cedric's still tuning in here. He's saying, yeah, I don't think DK is going to play. So I think that increases more value for Kenneth Walker. But I do not like the way the Cowboys and Jerry Jones run their organization, period. So I've never been a full supporter of the Dak Prescott. I've never been even drafting CeeDee Lamb. I feel like you drafted him when you didn't need him, and it was just kind of I don't know. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Rage.
I didn't want to.
Like just rage is coming out of me right now. I for an owner to have that much influence on
way.
Yeah, like it just drives me absolutely bonkers. I'm looking for where are the I'm looking at FF today, Fantasy Football Today. They do a really good job of laying out teams versus, and I cannot seem to find the Giants on here. I don't know why. There's 32 teams listed, but I can't seem to find the Giants. All right, there we go. The Giants are 11th against on this. I got Giants against 11th against the and they're really Kenyon Drake had a big week against them. Week 6 against Baltimore. And then week 1, Dontrell Hilliard had a big week, but
Yeah, I think he had a couple receiving touchdowns. That's what kind of set him off.
Travis Etienne had a big game last week against them too.
All three of those guys, though, are pretty much the not primary, but they're receiving out of the backfield guys.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be a very heavy.
I stand corrected.
Cedric. No, there's no corrections yet. The game hasn't been played. So
Walker average.
No, that's where my gut would go is Walker there. I hate saying it just because of the fact of Dak. If Dak is on fire, CeeDee Lamb's a top 5, top 3 wide receiver.
And now that I'm thinking it out loud, like this is a 6-man PPR league, I feel like consistency at running back plays much more in a. I mean, I play in deep, 12, 14-man leagues, where a wide receiver flex is a stronger play than a running back, but this is a 6-man. You're looking for most points of it. Kenneth Walker. Go for it, Kenneth Walker. All right.
We twisted your arm enough.
You did.
Beautiful.
You did. I mean, but he's chiming. Cedric, man, this is all great. He's he's averaging 20 and a half points in the last 3 games.
Yeah.
And 2 start, he's like 23 points average. Like it's.
Yeah, once he's gotten the actual button, now he's a lot of those numbers are carried on last week because it was a very up there. Yeah. But you're looking at, still, I don't know rank wise. I could look at it, but the actual like production wise, he's putting in 15 plus points the last 3 weeks that he's been in there, and last week I think was almost like a 25, 28 something point depending on your league. So. Yeah. But he's riding that high, and I think they're getting a flow with him because he wasn't the starting running back going into that point. Now he is the lead back. DJ Dallas is a backup.
Yeah, so,
it'll be fun.
Oh man,
I'm enjoying watching him go. I was not able to snag him in one of my dynasty leagues.
We got another question though. This is Bills or Eagles defense for Week 8 start.
Bills or Eagles defense? Man, I am the wrong person to go to.
I know you are.
Defense league and but you take the lead on this, and I'm going to think about it.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to look at the Eagles are playing Pittsburgh, and then
did they? And they just, I don't think he's going to play, but they just got Robert Quinn out of Chicago.
They did.
I don't know. I'm sure defensive side-wise, he could just plug and play at that point.
I mean, I really do. I think you can. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and throw this little statistic out there. I'm pretty sure in DVO, yeah, rankings, the Bills are number 1, and I think they've only given up. Like 17 points in the entire second half all season so far.
Oh yeah, no, they're
and they're playing they're playing Green Bay Sunday night at home. So you have all that. I know that like that shouldn't matter, in if you're looking at stats, but excuse me, I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. I'll fill in for a second here because I would even with that, seeing what Dallas was able to do with Cooper Rush, and there have been games. The reason why I like a lot of the Eagles players is because of they're not just going out there and blowing it out and unable to just sit guys. Hurts is putting up numbers for a reason. I think you're going to start seeing more offenses being able to exploit them. Now, Pittsburgh, I don't know as much being able to exploit, but I would go with Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I just think the whole the atmosphere. It's the first Sunday night game that they've they're playing at home in 8 years. They're playing against Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is having an extremely rough season. The wide receivers are on the same page.
I think last week I said he was washed. So it's well, let's see if he can prove me wrong this week.
So I mean, I'm clear. Zach or Zay. I think it's Buffalo. I think you're safe either way, but I like I don't know. I like the Bills. I don't know. I don't know why.
About signing unbiased there. I'm sided with you on this one.
I don't know why I would pick them, but no, I just
there's no clue.
I like the atmosphere. I like the whole. I think atmosphere of a game drives the defense.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to possibly get. I think they're going to hold less points. I don't know if you'll have the errors like that you would possibly with the Eagles taking on, a rookie quarterback. But I think that you're just going to you're a safer pick. Out of defense, I don't think you're looking for boom bust. Oh, I need a pick 6 for a touchdown. You should be looking for, hey, if I can get 10 points out of my defense, that's freaking outstanding.
Right. I mean, yeah, I don't think you're going to get well, I don't know. I mean,
yeah. You never know with that wide receiver core at Green Bay. The tip interception is always a possibility. But I think, man, that was a fun one. That flew by. It's already been over an hour.
Yeah, it has. Listen, thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. We're gonna have to wrap this one up. You want to go ahead and close this out, dude?
Absolutely, and thank you everybody for throwing in trade questions, comments, everything like that. We genuinely appreciate that. Like we said earlier, we're looking at putting this more towards that, our live show every week, so we can get with everybody. Follow us on Twitter at @NBTG_podcast. You can watch the show there, and then also subscribe to us on YouTube. As like we mentioned, we'll be putting out more content. We've already got a few college videos out there, but we'll be putting out more of the smaller segmented videos to make it more palatable, so you don't have to listen to us too long to find the nuggets that you really want. So, but yeah, definitely subscribe to get that info, and keep joining us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're always welcome to have you guys and join in and share thoughts and fun trade talk.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to catch us next week.